Um, Today is super awesome. Today we have some really nice information, something awesome to show all you guys, and just waiting for a few people to kind of join in. And at the outset, I want to thank all the people who have registered: Anshula, Farhan, Nishant, Rajesh, Rakesh, Shilpa, Sumit, and a lot of other people joining us both here on Vidphone and also on other social channels. So super happy, wonderful to be with all of you this evening to share some of the insights or some thoughts that we have. So today I'll be following a very simple mind map, and I want to just jump straight to that. Uh, so today is all about video commerce, right? So I think everybody who's following a little bit of what we do and in touch with any of us, will know our work around video over the past few years. Uh, it's been one hell of a journey. But I think what's important is that we always look at what's next, and it's never okay to kind of settle at what we're doing already, or to settle at what the status quo is, right? So we always look at what's next. Video commerce, of course, is something that we always started with, but as all of you would know, how the kind of the world has changed after 2020, right? With video meetings and video chat, webinars. So today the world needs something more, and that's what this is all about. So let's jump straight into the intro. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining in. Big warm welcome to all of you. I know Bangalore's had some rains like we've never seen before. A lot of rains this monsoon. Hopefully it's going to rain a lot of success for you guys as well. So wonderful times to be building things, and really awesome to have such a great community with us. So very quickly, I want to address this: what's in it for me. uh, so hopefully at the end of this webinar, you're going to know certain things that you probably didn't know before, and probably also have one or two open avenues that you can actually explore very quickly, right? So very quickly, I want to set the context. I'm not going to take more than 25-30 minutes. I think it's a Friday evening. It's a weekend for all of you. So want everyone to make sure that you guys having a good week, good night out, hopefully with your family or friends. So want to keep this as short as possible, but as valuable as possible, right? Valuable as possible. Uh, I encourage all of you to take some notes if you find it useful. Uh, and again, happy to take any kind of questions. uh, but if you could reserve the questions to the end, that would be awesome, so that I could address them with an open kind of time frame, right? So just want to very quickly move to something about this amazing industry, right? So video commerce. uh, what's amazing, you will not believe the kind of projections that we are seeing is that this industry is going to be a $2.8 trillion market. And just to put that into context, right? Just to put that into context, uh, today India's GDP is around $3 trillion, give or take, right? So if you're going to see this entire brand new India or brand new Indian-sized market that's going to kind of come within the next few years, right? And I'm not talking about something that's way off. I'm talking about something that's going to happen very soon, and that's quite an amazing stack. Many people may not know what this is about. They may have heard of some video commerce or live streaming or live commerce, but today, we try and give you a deep down into some of the concepts, and also share with you some insights, on what's next, right? Before I get to more about the business, more about certain points, right? Very firstly, I just want to introduce myself. Uh, Kind of give you a short intro. My name is Jagat Iyer. I am the founder and CEO at Vidphone. Been an entrepreneur for more than a decade and a half now, and I think every point of the way it's been one hell of a learning for me. And one of the best things about what I do is the kind of people I work with. I think couldn't have asked for better folks. My team, very happy to kind of build whatever we build for our customers with our wonderful team out there. Uh, another, apart from my work in tech, uh, I do spend quite a bit of my time with with the startup ecosystem, doing whatever little we can, kind of building out communities and kind of facilitating collaborations. I do spend a lot of time mentoring young startups as well nowadays. It's never something, not something I thought I'd be doing, but I'm happy to share some notes with my fellow founders and other startup builders. Uh, I'm also a cricketer, former amateur, Karnataka under 16s. Back in the day, I love golf. I'm an amateur golfer, and yeah, and I also play music. I'm also a guitarist. So that's a little about me. Of course, work takes up most of my time. I get very little time for my other activities, but I'm not complaining, right? It's just the most awesome thing to do, and I'm super happy to be here. Now, let's get to this part, which is something I find that most people don't know, right? Or maybe many people know about these things, but somehow it seems that people are confused about these simple three secrets that I want to share. Now, the very first secret uh, is called the trend is your friend, right? Now, this phrase one may have seen maybe in the stock markets or in investing, but one of the things I realized is that it's very, very important even in life, right? So where you're investing, probably not your money directly, or maybe not significant amount of money, but you're investing your time and you're investing all your energies uh, day to day, every day. And what really matters is that, you know, you can control as much as you want about what you are doing, but what you cannot control is the environment around you. And I think one of the big one of the big reasons most people fail, or most people are struggling to kind of understand commerce, which is do business, is actually sometimes going against the trend or not really using the trend, to be your friend, to let you go where you want to go, right? So, and let me tell you, let me give you a couple of examples. So just imagine, suppose you were the company called Xerox, right? Xerox. The concept of photocopying, and you know that now the word Xerox has become the word photocopying itself, like it's substituted, for that phrase, for that word. Uh, Imagine you were making Xerox machines or photocopying machines, and you had this brand new idea today that you wanted to start this business. Now, would you? What are your chances of actually succeeding in that business? Now, happy to hear folks as well. So, Gayatri and others who have joined us, feel free to comment. I'm happy to listen and hear in. So, suppose we were starting, let's say, a Xerox business today. Would that be a smart business to kind of get into? And I think the brain dead answer is no. Simply because while the whole world's going digital, there's lesser and lesser scope for something like physical printed copies to actually take over the market, right? I think we've had that phase before, maybe in the 80s, 90s, with the offices with their, Xerox machines. I think that was the kind of phase. So today is not really the time. So probably not the best trend. Let's say that you were making landline telephones. Back in the day, we had the dial phones, right? So just imagine if you were making landline telephones today. You had the most amazing technology, you had all of the things going on. But if you were doing landline phones, maybe that's not the best business to be in today, right? Would you agree with me? So it's very important to actually be in a business where the trend is your friend. Now, there's also another quote, that says that sometimes to the effect that trends are kind of seasonal and trends keep changing. Jagat, does that mean that I keep on changing what I do? That's a great question. Now, I tell my son this, when he goes to school, he misses his old school. So I tell him, once you're done with LKG, can you go back to your lower kindergarten again? Right? No, you can't. You have to go to the next class. And that's the way life works. That's the way business works as well. Right? So some of the things that we did, 5 years ago are not all that relevant today. And that's the good and the bad sides of bad side of technology. Most industries, things may change in a decade, But when you look at tech, and specifically, our business to do with apps and software, uh, the rate of change is just unbelievable, right? So just being in the industry for a decade and a half, I cannot imagine, or I cannot explain to you quickly the number of trends or fads that we've had in the past 1.5 decades. Uh, it's been absolutely crazy. So always make sure that the trend is your friend. And one of the secret or the black arts, I would say, of starting up is to what they call time the market. And to a large extent, that's impossible. You really cannot time the market. What you can time is probably what you are building and your thesis. But you cannot really, you can never ever have a accurate kind of prediction on the external side of things, on how the market is going to form its own thesis on the world. So it's extremely important to be in a business, to be in an industry that is actually on the rise. Okay, and that's one of the big things about video commerce. Video commerce is the future of not just retail, but of healthcare, of education, of marriages, of spiritual affairs, you name it. Every single sector of the economy is going to get a facelift with video commerce. The second secret. So the first secret was called the trend is your friend, and how you need to be in an industry that makes sense, and in an industry that's growing. Now, the second secret is called, let me just change that, networks make your net worth, right? So you've heard this quote before. Many people tell you that your network is your net worth. And trust me, that is absolutely true. Now, there's a reason why social networking or professional networking, all of these markets or products became so big. It's because it dealt with something very, very fundamental to human existence, which is that all humans are social by nature. All of you who went through the pandemic, right? All of you, I mean, of course, all of you have gone through the pandemic, else you wouldn't be here. But 2020 was such a eye-opening year. Of course, it was a very painful time for many people. But one of the things that we can learn is how difficult it is to survive in isolation. Uh, though some people, it's kicked off this brand new gig economy again, and people will work from home, and it's unlocked all those benefits. But end of the day, humans, I always say that we are not plants, right? We are animals, and plants can be rooted in one place all through their life. They're born, they're kind of they sprout in a particular area, and their geolocation is kind of fixed through the next few years of their existence. But animals, we are not built that way. We have to move. It's locomotion, and mobility, I mean physical real mobility, not mobile networks. Mobility is a very, very core aspect of what makes us an animal itself. And of course, humans, we think we are at the crown of creation, but end of the day, we're just animals. So it's impossible to just work from home in isolation. So it's very, very important to be able to build your network, to be able to, and what is the meaning of building your network, right? So I think it's not just about having 5,000 followers or 10,000 followers or 1 million followers on your social media. That's really not your network. That's just a list. I think a network is something where there are some kind of collisions happening and interactions happening. That's what keeps the network alive. And apart from the quantity of the network, I think what's very important is also the quality of interactions that happen in that network. One of the beautiful things about networks, I think many of you may know about this particular law that's called, Metcalfe's law, like Metcalfe's law, which basically says that the economic value of a network is proportional to the square of the network, right? So which means basically that if you have two points on a network, the value is kind of two squared. It could be one each way, but the moment it becomes three, the economic value of that compounds in a square fashion. So it's like proportional to 9, and it goes to, after that, with 4 points you go to 16. So the economic value of a network is proportional to the square of the network participants. And what I mean by network participants is really two kind of forms, which is one, which is humans like us, users, and the second being entities, which are organizations or startups or businesses or any kind of collection of people. So in society, we have predominantly two kinds of entities: one, humans and users, which are retail or individuals, and we have collectives or corporations or companies or educational institutes, you name it. So these are the components or what makes a network today. And the more number of participants that we have in the network, the economic value for all the participants is proportional to the square of the network participants. So very, very important to understand that you need to spend your time and your efforts where you have network effects, right? And by network effects, what we mean is that the value for all the users increases as the network number of users increase. Does that make sense? Just to give you some kind of example, let's take an example of Uber. Now, the more number of drivers that are on the app, the more useful it is for consumers or for people who want to book a drive, because there is more availability of cabs. Again, the more availability of users or consumers, the more lucrative it is for the drivers. So that is what we call a network effect. Now, video commerce and with Vidphone very specifically, this is one of the key kind of secrets that you will unlock. You will really see the power of what the network can do for you, right? It's not about what you can do for the network, it's about what the network can do for you. And that's a really, really important secret that people may have forgotten. But in today's day and age, it's very important to realize that we're in the era of collaborations and networks. So, your networks make your net worth. Secret number three, and this is my favorite, right? So I would say a decade and a half ago, we set out to kind of start a company, to build a team, to kind of serve the market, not because we were fascinated by this concept of starting up or by the unicorns or by funding or anything like this. All we wanted to do was to have a place for ourselves where we loved our work every day, and we were excited with the people we were working with, right? So that was pretty much all I thought about in the initial days of the company, that why we wanted to start a company or why we want to start a business. Uh, Mainly because we want to work with people we love. I had heard from back in college from a lot of my seniors who got placed, almost everybody hated their boss, and the boss didn't like their juniors too much and stuff like this. And I always found that painful. You're spending 8 hours a day, or probably more than that. That's like a third of your life on working with people that you don't like working with, working on things that you don't enjoy working on. How many people love your job? Just a quick question. I love my job, but apart from us, so I think most people will tell you that they don't really like their job. And that's one of the saddest things I hear, because you work all your childhood and your adolescence, you study through school and college, and then you put yourself in this situation for the next 40 or 50 years where every day you hate what you do, when you work with people that you don't like. So it's the most ridiculous thing to ever kind of think about, right? So, and everybody here wants to start something of their own. But let me tell you that it's not easy, it's not a piece of cake. But increasingly, and now with the latest release that's coming up, I'm like so excited about this, because we're finally seeing this happen. We're finally seeing that a tool, an inanimate or rather a non-human entity is actually your company. And what I mean by that is that anybody who wants to start something, who wants to start a business, who wants to start up, today you can just get onto this platform, sign up, and with a few clicks, you are actually on your way to financial independence, to being in control of your life, to being your own boss. And that's one of the most amazing secrets that I think we have discovered over the past few months, which is that software is your new startup. And How many of you think this thing makes sense? Right. So very quickly, just want to just sum up the three secrets of today. The trend is your friend, networks make your net worth, and software is your new startup. So this was the core three messages that I want to give everybody today. If you found it useful, it would be wonderful if you could share this message out with your friends. You could, share it on your social networks and kind of spread the good message, right? So very quickly, just want to ask a few questions. Uh, how many of you people here actually think there's a lot more to learn here? There's a lot more to kind of know, and are really excited about what's in store in this video commerce industry. The second is, how many of you know what is called the regret minimalization framework? Okay. Now, one of the founders of one of the big companies called Amazon, and this is Jeff Bezos, and Bezos talks about regret minimalization, which I think is a great way to look at life. Is that suppose you're about to die, and what are the regrets that you would have in your life? And it's very important to kind of live life backwards. Just imagine you're about to die, and what big regret would you have? And the idea in life is to minimize your regrets. So if any of you feel that by not taking a big plunge into something huge, into giving yourself a huge shot at a new market, that if you didn't do it today, that you may regret tomorrow, right? Tomorrow you may regret, why did I do this? Oh, look at him, he's done that successful thing, it could have been me. How many of you feel that this is a possibility? So if you feel that you have a lot more to learn and that you want to minimize your regrets, this is why we created Vidphone. And I just want to jump straight into some of the contents. I want to get into what's next, and I want to just kind of show you all of this wonderful stuff that Vidphone has to offer here. So sorry. So here is Vidphone. This is what the dashboard looks like. We have a bunch of tools on the left here, which include video meetings where you can have your own personal room. You can have all of your recordings. This is a place for your live streams and your webinars, all of the analytics. You have a whole bunch of information and data about all of your webinars, the kind of responses. You can download them. We have a brand new feature, video mail, which is Vmail, the best way to actually talk to your customers, your partners, your team. You can also list your products on Vidphone, ready right now for everybody to list their products in a few steps and start getting orders, right? So this is a brand new feature that we have. You can all go and check it out. Absolutely amazing. Now, all of your contacts, this is again one of my test accounts that I'm using. So we don't have too much of data in this particular account, but all of your contacts you can upload from your phone contacts. You can upload your CSV files. You can even manually enter contacts. So this is really the beginning of your network, right? All of your contacts, and you nurture these contacts into what we call the VCRM. Now the VCRM, world's first video first CRM. Today all of our customer acquisition, the network building happens virtually, a lot of it, but there are no real CRMs that address this virtual digital network journey. So video CRM, really, really awesome tool, gives you all of the information that you need, about people who are attending your webinars, who are coming into sales meetings. You can also connect with your team. Absolutely, fantastic kind of, platform here. I did a bit of some changes here, but you can all go through it. Go through the VCRM. You can also look at a brand new feature that's called video marketing automation, right? So video marketing automation lets you set custom templates, custom kind of sequences for all of your connects, right? So the moment somebody registers onto your webinar, you could instantly send them a particular email with the right kind of configurations, with a CTA button, people can click on it. This is how you start putting your customer generation on a kind of what we call autopilot or in God mode, right? So these are the customer facing tools, your contacts, your VCRM, marketing automation, and something for the internal communications, right? Something to for your team to collaborate with, something awesome called the virtual office. People can just take a seat. You can enter. You have your own office link here. This would be office slash whatever your company name is, and all of your remote collaborators or your teammates can sit anywhere in the world, right here. They can take their own seats. You can connect with all of them, talk to them like you are in a real office, right? So this is one of the most amazing tools to help your internal productivity, and of course a few other developer tools that are coming soon. So we're really excited about this brand new release. Allows you to also build your affiliate network. Really exciting. A lot of wonderful stats to explore. So Vidphone is really that startup or that software as a startup that we call, right? So really exciting with this new release. I hope all of you find great value. Just getting to some Q&A that I wanted to take from some people who had asked some questions. Uh, Let me just pull it up. So, a couple of things that I want to know. Well, people want to know from us. Shilpa asks, need to know how much a startup takes time to flourish. Well, that's a great question, right? It's a very important question. The secret answer is that uh, there is no set time frame. The government defines a startup as something that's like less than 10 years old or less than 100 crore revenue and some parameters. But there are some cases where things can, it's again all about the trend is your friend and people having the network to make the net worth, and also the right software that actually makes this happen. So uh, there are startups that kind of pick up and get what we call PMF, which is called product market fit. It's like the holy grail of building something. It's when you know something's working. Go and read more about product market fit. And the answer to when you're going to find product market fit is really unknown, right? That's the answer. There are companies that do it very quickly. There are companies that take a lot of time. For example, this game that everyone loved called Angry Birds, right? So it was by a company called Rovio. I think they took probably a few years before it became big. There are other startups that may kind of kick very quickly. So it's really, there is no secret sauce to that. There's no one size fits all answer. It's all about how many quick experiments can you do, and kind of learn quickly to build to find that product market fit. So that is something that I think it's a good question, but unfortunately there's no single word answer to that. How to automate reels making? So I think this got to do with one of the third party apps. Firstly you have to ask yourself why you do reels. Is it just to build a following, or are you building that to kind of teach something to somebody, or are you using that to sell a product? uh, and I think secondly you have to look at what's the objective of this automation. So firstly you would be using some good tools. There are other tools out there, but also at Vidphone you can make you can go live and create a lot of a video with what we call vlogs or what we call vidcasts. People use the word video podcast. I kind of feel that's a weird word, because we're not making videos for the iPod anymore. It was called the podcast because that was kind of live casting for the iPod, and we don't do it for the iPod. So I think the word vidcast may make more sense, or vidstream, vlog, call it what you want. So reels is, I think, just a term that was used by the Valley companies. Uh, you know, I'm not very fond of that word, simply because it's too filmy for me. I like things a little more serious, maybe, or a little more edutainment than just propaganda. So yeah, I think how to automate reels is use the right tool, know why you're doing it, and I think that will fix. So video marketing automation at some level does that, and I hope that kind of gets to what we're trying to do. But Another way is to look at AI, but I wouldn't really get there. Right now, we're still in very much exploring human intelligence before we get to artificial intelligence. I don't think we have kind of explored human intelligence fully to let all of that get outsourced to AI. So we are very much a human intelligence company, and so I wouldn't recommend AI for a lot of the reels because we like things authentic, face to face like this, so that you know things are very very clear and of course, let's get real, not just do reels, right? So important to get real. So a couple of questions there. I'm happy to take more questions as well, but very quickly, what are the next steps that you can do? My suggestion is that people get onto vidphone.me. You can go and sign up, create a free account, explore the platform. We're always there to kind of get on a support call in case you need to. So I want to wish all of you a wonderful, wonderful weekend and happy building. Enjoy your journey. And, all right, bye bye. Till the next time. Thank you.